All right, so this is my week 8 reflection video. Uh, this week, we started. Well, the topic was overcoming, uh, and we started doing interviews. I was able to see the assignment last week, and I started coming up with some people I wanted to interview. And I came up with like two really good candidates. And I was happy because I had people who were close to them, and that made me excited to and confident that I'd be able to get the interviews. But when I called or when I messaged and talked to the first one, I was quite shocked when he said he wouldn't do the interview. Um, and his prime reason was that he was too busy. And I was like, what? How are you too busy for an interview? But it kind of made me realize that, like, I'm not as important as I think. I guess that's what it was. Previously, I've had interviews with other people, and I've been able to get them all the people I've asked, I've been able to interview. And it was just kind of interesting to me that it didn't happen this time. And it made me a bit kind of motivated or dedicated to really kind of push the point. And so as I continued to talk to him, he said it wasn't going to work out. And I kept pushing him. And he said that later, in next quarter, so in April or in May, more in May, that I could ask him again at that time. And it kind of, I think that it will work out. And even if I don't get an interview in this half of the year, I think it will happen in the next half of the year. And I know I explained to him that what the time frame for the assignment was, and that's why he said he couldn't do it, because it was impossible in this time. But I told him that I still wanted the interview, and I hope that won some respect and will allow me to be able to have this interview, because regardless of the fact interviewing this person, Jimmy James, who is a successful entrepreneur, would be very helpful for me, not just for this class, but on my path. That really goes hand in hand with another kind of concept that I learned this week. This week I went through my degree audit, and I made a separate spreadsheet recording all of the credits and the classes, and tallying everything up and coming up with some different plans for how to graduate and when to graduate. And I was shocked to see that a plan that I really liked would have me graduating next year. And graduation has always seemed like a far distant goal. But realizing that I'm closely coming on it has made me reflect more on what I am learning from my courses and what I'm getting out of this experience. Because if I graduate, like finish all the classes and just graduate and just breeze through everything and didn't learn anything, then the truth is I just got a piece of paper that says I'm more valuable than I actually am. And I don't want that. I want my degree to reflect in my work, in my knowledge, in my ethics, and in my understanding. And so that means I have to double down on the concepts and the ideas that are being proposed and challenge them, and not just challenge them but apply them into my lives. This week I did three separate interviews. I think I did one with another entrepreneur, my sister-in-law who has two businesses. I did three interviews for the 9 people who and what their purposes in life are. And I'm continuing to plan more, but I'm starting to realize that like I need to challenge myself, because this is like a time in my life for this year and next year that I have to grow intellectually a lot, and hopefully set myself up to be in a very good position for the next 20 years. But the that those are just some ideas that are really going through my mind this week, and I think that's crazy. Like in 8 weeks, how much has kind of changed. Another kind of concept I really liked learning this week was the 5 whys. That I naturally, well, not naturally, I've grown an ability to consistently ask questions, to understand something fully, especially other people's ideas. My wife gets annoyed at me sometimes because I would ask a lot of questions about her beliefs and her stance. And it wasn't because I doubted her or wanted her to doubt it, but it was because I wanted her to really ponder and think about it so that she could know what she knows. And asking why allows you to know really what you know. And also, with that, it helps you know what you don't know. I just watched an episode of Flash, and in it there's a quote where his father says, "You don't know what you don't know." And I thought that was like funny and obvious at first, but the principle is that because of lack of understanding, it's easy to assume that we know more than we know. And when we come to a situation in which we do not actually understand or don't know what to do, then we'll find ourselves floundering because we assumed beforehand we had that knowledge or understanding. And learning won't get you that. It won't get you all of the knowledge you ever will need, but it'll definitely help you understand in what areas you don't know and don't have the knowledge, and then help you prepare for them in different ways. I think an example could be in giving a presentation. You might not know the answers to all the questions that will be asked after the presentation, but if you know the sources to find all of them, or if you have the resources at your tips, which could be a coworker or could be notes that you've taken, then you are now prepared for a situation where you might not know the answer. And that's when you start to learn what you know. I think that's one of my thoughts for this week. Yeah.